now, workers began voting on to decide whether another Amazon warehouse on New York City's Staten Island will organize a labor union.
Last month, workers at a facility across the street, codenamed JFK-8, voted to form a union by a wide margin, the first labor union at an Amazon facility in the U.S. Amazon is seeking to overturn the election, having argued in a filing with the National Labor Relations Board this month that the vote was tainted by organizers and by the board's regional office in Brooklyn that oversaw the election. Last Friday, the company submitted material to support its objections in a filing to the agency. If Amazon's effort fails, it could appeal to the National Labor Board, whose Democratic majority is expected to favor the fledgling union. But even in cases when the agency upholds a union victory, companies often refuse to negotiate, a stance that can trigger lengthy legal battles in federal court as a backdoor way to thwart labor victories.
I just want the autograph one day. Boy, I'm telling you, y'all doing some historical stuff.
World leaders from Washington to Beijing have congratulated Emmanuel Macron, who became France's first president in 2 decades, to be re-elected with nearly 59% of Sunday's runoff vote.
But with high abstention and a historically high score for his far-right opponent Marine Le Pen, Macron faces big challenges, pushing through his second-term agenda and securing a majority in June parliamentary elections. For VOA, Lisa Bryan reports from the Paris suburb of Pantin.
President Emmanuel Macron and his supporters savored a hard-fought victory Sunday night, but many, starting with France's 44-year-old leader, knew it was just a reprieve.
I also know that many of our compatriots voted for me today, not to support the ideas I put forward, but to block those of the extreme right. I want to thank them and tell them that I am aware that this vote binds me for the years to come.
Conceding defeat, Macron's far-right rival, Marine Le Pen, was already looking ahead to the legislative vote, just 2 months away. On the far left, Jean-Luc Mélenchon of the France Unbowed party, who came a strong third in first-round voting, also hopes for parliamentary victory through a united leftist bloc. That could force Macron into governing with a prime minister from the opposition. Macron will also be challenged, selling unpopular second-term reforms like raising the retirement age without the massive protests that marked his first term. About 14 million voters didn't cast their ballots Sunday. Some who did said they didn't like either candidate.
As citizens, we have the impression that the presidential elections are stolen from us every time because they don't leave us with any choice. Either we vote far right or to another party.
In the second round, I voted for Marine Le Pen. I don't agree with all of her platform, but the problem with Macron is he's proved very authoritarian these past 5 years.
Many Western leaders, however, have greeted Macron's victory with relief. So have French who support a strong European Union.
He did a very good job for France having an important place in the world among Europe. And for France, he has to do more than he did for all difference and inegalities between people. I'm confident that he could improve and go further in his job he did till now.
Macron is now expected to appoint a new caretaker government until legislative elections, which will determine just how much of a mandate he has to govern over the next 5 years. Lisa Bryant for VOA News, Paris.